Not with Rudeman. He has just dropped a cylinder. What a shame. His lap times had been as good, if not better, than the leaders.
But how about Greg Biffle in the 16, who has come from 25th on the grid to the lead? Yellow is out, but there's a little bit of rain falling on the track. Not significant, but just enough so that these slick tires aren't going to get any traction. Montoya wants the lead from Greg Biffle.
Tell you what, he just drove by Greg Biffle.
Right front.
It sounds like everybody is very cautious about that right front tire. It never gets a break at this half-mile racetrack.
Car in the wall, back straightaway, Casey Kane.
That may very well be a tire. We've been out there for quite a while. Caution is out.
And Montoya, whose best short track finish in 18 races, third at Martinsville last October, brings him down for the restart. Casey Kane in the wall, turn 2. Bounces off it, keeps going. I believe we'll stay green.
You're all clear there, all clear.
We got Greg Biffle fighting on the high side. He'll take the lead from Montoya. These two guys, they will not give up at the front. Just keep battling back and forth, the 2 and the 16.
You know, I always said Greg Biffle was a good guy, but he's about the most impatient thing. I'll be waiting when he comes in here. There is no way I'm leaving this racetrack without telling somebody that just intentionally put me into the fence or tried to knock me out of the way how I feel.
Trouble under turn 4. You can be a wolfman every now and then, but sometimes you can only take so much.
Ricky Rudd gets by Rusty Wallace, and Rusty's obviously not happy at the tactics.
And Jimmy Johnson gets turned right in the front of Mark Martin.
Jimmy Johnson got the worst end of that.
It's hard to keep your temper in check here when you run in these close quarters at these speeds at this place.
Give him some room, guys. Get back. Give him some room.
On pit road, Stewart expresses his displeasure with Jeff Gordon.
How about the retaliation? How about Tony coming back at you? Is that okay?
That doesn't surprise me one bit. I didn't see him at the door. And I know anytime that the rules have been reversed, he's expected me to live. So it's just racing. It's just Bristol.
Double off turn 2 is Elliott Sadler.
25 car, Joe Nemechek got a little bit sideways, and the 21 car drifted up into him and lost the rear of the car.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Ward Burton were racing for 12th spot. Now Ward's in the wall. And now the call goes out on the NASCAR radio for the driver and crew chief of the 22 to go to the big red truck, and the race is over.
That big red truck is going to be busy, I think.
It's going to be.
I got some really good words for him, but I can't say it on TV, but I got to just control myself right at the moment. I wish I had something I could shot through the window.
Whoa, he hit him. Busch got under him and muscled Jimmy Spencer. You don't see that often.
They're pushing and shoving a little bit over there. I don't know what that was all about.
They got over here on the back straightaway, Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch. Now Kyle Busch is going after him.
You know, whatever. That's, Carl's going to say he's sorry he didn't want to race that way because he always does. You know, Mr. Red Light.
Hey, what are they doing here?
Gets in the back of Junior.
Damn 31 wouldn't get out of the way. Lap down, racing the leaders with 8-10 laps to go. But that's why it takes 3 or 4 times for him to finally get into the West Cup Series because he don't pay attention, he don't know what he's doing.
Here comes Earnhardt. He hits Labonte. Labonte spins in turn 2. Earnhardt heads back into turn 3.
I was going to get in hard. I was going to get in under him and try to rattle him and try to get upside him and race him, but I didn't mean to spin him out. But they'll say that's a lie no matter how you say it.
Can a guy win a race by spinning a guy out on the last lap?
It depends who it is. In this circumstances, big thumbs up for it, I'm sure.
Coming up on NASCAR in a Hurry, Junior Nation was getting excited as Earnhardt made his presence felt in the second half of the race. Plus, the Biff, JPM, and Busch look to keep Double J at bay. We'll take you to the finish.
Jimmy Johnson made all the right moves, and it's Kurt Busch who is going to run out of time.
No matter what, you have to love the bump and grind that is Bristol. And this first stop in Thunder Valley was as thrilling as ever. Welcome back to NASCAR in a Hurry. I'm Bob Dillner, and we are taking you to the checkered flag. With one car already out, a lot of eyes on Harvick and Burton to see if they could keep the RCR train a-chugging. Big problem, though, another one bites the dust seemed to be the theme song with tire wear in the second half of the race. And, of course, there was the rain game that everyone was keeping their eye on. Let's stop talking and get back to racing.
Oh, gosh, the 18 car hard.
Kyle Busch
Still inside.
will bring out the caution. It's the 5th one today.
Caution's out.
Comes down here and just right about there. Bam.
What's up with Dale Jr.?
That's what I was wondering.
At turn
looks like
2.
he's going to the rear of the field.
too fast entering pit road. Penalized to the end of the line for the restart. Junior was in 5th place.
Getting busted at Bristol for speeding by whatever it was when I didn't really gain nothing on nobody. It's not the way it should be. It should be a different way to do it. I got you, bud. I got you. Calm down, take a couple deep breaths. Everything's going to be fine.
Keselowski and Edwards side by side. And we don't even expect them to come close.
In the, what did you call him in the pre-race there? The 29 car, Kevin Harvick?
The agitator.
right in the middle of them.
Right behind him.
Whoa, Greg Biffle, Mark Martin in the 5 car. Mark got into the outside wall hard.
They got hung. Oh, no. More.
Here we go. Montoya piles in.
47 car.
Edwards is in it. Keselowski misses it. And what did Harvick just do?
He tried to shoot the gap, and he got clipped.
And Ambrose gets the worst of it.
Poor old Marcos. He had just gotten himself back up near the front. He was running like 13th.
Here's Busch trying to work his way into the top 10.
He can take a car that's been in the wall. I saw him do it with his truck at Daytona. He can just get so much out of a car that's wrecked.
We always get a late race caution here. I think you're going to see everybody hit pit road.
Pit road is open. Let's see who the takers are. It's the Biff at the front of the line with Matt Kenseth, then Edwards, Stewart, Busch, and Johnson. 10 laps to go. Green flag.
Great start by the 16, and the 17 didn't quite get going. Whoa, look at that 48 car. We know he is good with new tires for a short lap, short run. This could be his cup of tea.
He's going to try to take it 3 wide off, too. He has to back out. Biffle and Stewart side by side. Tony Stewart's working at bottom. Johnson's faster. He just can't get by him.
48's got to get by the 16 if he's going to have any shot at it. There you go. Now he's got the 14 now. He'll drive right by him.
Kurt Busch moves up to 4th.
If he's going to pass him, he'll have to do it on the high side. Looks like he's going to do it.
He's got him.
Checkered flag. Jimmy Johnson scores his 50th career Sprint Cup win.
It's Johnson, Stewart, Busch, Greg Biffle, and Matt Kenseth round out your top 5. So a very good day for Roush Fenway Racing.
A great day. Biffle had a good run all day long. Matt hung in there, run up and top. And Carl was out of the race at 2 or 3 times. For Carl to come back and have a good run after the last couple of weeks, that's a big boost for that team.
Kevin Harvick, he's been amazing the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks he's been running 30th. And then we go, what's wrong with Harvick? And here he comes to finish 11th late in the race.
Paul Menard's 18th place finish was not indicative of where he spent most of the day. He spent it a lot higher in the standings than that, but that's where he finished. Bobby Labonte 21st, Juan Pablo Montoya 26th.
I got to give a call to David Stremme. He just jumps in this car that has been running last every race, finishes 24th. Good job, Stremme.
Marcus Ambrose had some trouble on the racetrack in that big wreck. He got the worst end of that, and again, not indicative of how he runs on this race.
No, I think when you look at Marcos and you look at Casey and those guys were top 5, top 10 cars most of the day.
These revised points we just got have Kevin Harvick in first place by 1 point over Matt Kenseth, and Jimmy Johnson, as he goes for his 5th championship, now sits just 14 behind.
We got off to a slow start at the beginning. We had some right front tire issues, and Chad had to work some things around with the setup to get the load off the right front tire, and did a great job of that through the middle part of the race. And then at the end, we were able to fine-tune and get the car fast again. And the 4 tires at the end I thought were trouble, but they paid off. I mean, that was a lot of fun racing the final 10 laps.
Finally is the key word for Jimmy Johnson at Bristol. He finally wins in his 17th attempt here in Thunder Valley. But some other guys not all too happy that the 48 pulled into victory lane for the 3rd time in 5 races. We'll hear from them coming up next. 2 tires or 4 tires? That was the question on everybody's mind during the last caution of this race. For Jimmy Johnson, 4 paid off, but the other finishers in the top 5, their choices weren't too shabby either.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gamble, obviously, but, our balance before that was really loose. So, we felt like we were in a position where we could take 2. And we had to do that to get some track position, and I felt like it was Darian kind of asked me what I thought, and I felt like it was a risk worth taking.
I really thought we had this one today. I poured my heart out to beat the 48. I know all the fans wanted to see it. The guy's just going to dominate next week at Martinsville. We're no good there. I was hoping we could steal one away from them today, but they're just that good right now.
I was just too loose. If I would have been like I was earlier, or the car had been driving like it normally did, I think I could have held them off. I really do. I owe an apology to Mark Martin. I mean, it sounds stupid. Everybody makes an excuse, but my radio, I was having troubles with my radio, and that whole run I didn't have a radio.